Hello, once again, friends. Have you ever heard of Crazy Craft? This pack is ancient by today's standards, but nothing I've played since has compared to the insanity that exists in this one. Like, for instance, this sheep has 53 health and is wearing a hat that is one of the creators of this pack. By killing it, I have now stolen its hat and can become him, like so. Anyways, this version of the pack is the 3.0 version and is the last one I remember experiencing on my own, but maybe I'll check out the older versions at some point. Anyways, introductions aside, my goal for today is pretty much just grabbing some stuff on the surface and then finding a place to settle. Lots of these dried spawn eggs are around here, but I don't entirely know if any of them are really worth grabbing quite yet. What I do know though is that I took a long time in the introduction, so night is already falling on the land. I'm thinking for this world I'll settle in a very vanilla place. So, plains biome. Actually, hold on, what's that? Oh jeez, it's a Mothra on day one. Serpentine, serpentine! I can hear the fireballs coming for me. Wait, where'd it go? Well, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. Guess it disappeared. Ooh, a lucky block. Ooh, a lucky bow. No arrows though. And right here is where I shall settle in. Kind of a chaotic day, but hopefully day 2 won't be anything like that. And it wasn't. Far from seeing and then choosing to avoid an encounter with a giant mantis, I really just stuck to making a shelter. Kinda glad about that, honestly, as establishing somewhere safe for me right now is pretty high on the priority list. And after a day of work, I really just needed to finish the roof. Lucky for me, a dark oak forest is nearby, so I can make it look all nice and pretty. Going for something that you would have seen back in the day this time around. I kinda like it. Anyways, I'm taking a look around the area now that I'm certain a giant moth isn't gonna appear to kill me. At least I hope. And we're right by a desert, which is quite advantageous for something I can make later on. Unfortunately, this village I found here is under siege from a lot of criminals that two-shot me. So that's unfortunate, but far from unexpected. On my way back to my stuff, I killed this coin-looking thing that dropped an emerald shovel, so that's kinda cool. I then slept because I needed to set my spawn point at my house. Once awake, I attempted to sneak back into the village to get my stuff, but these criminals spotted me instantly, and that led to a lot of mashing on my part. Lucky for me, these guys go down pretty easy, so I don't have to worry about much. But I have a very glaring weakness to just about everything. So, back at the house, I'm in need of protection. Mining time! I got this cave next to the house for plenty of starter resources, but it only got us so far. So I must tap into the ancient knowledge passed to me by a younger version of myself. I must dig down to strip mine. I'm gonna put stairs to get up out of this hole though, as I'm a little more civilized than I was back in 2016. I will say I don't really miss making mines like this. Sure, it was part of old Minecraft's charm, but to me it just feels archaic to do. But this was the end-all be-all back in this version of the game, as caves kinda sucked. But that doesn't mean I'm opposed to exploring them, as I dug into one at the bottom of our mineshaft hole. And this is good because so many things are down here, like troll blocks that summon termites whenever you break them, or just straight up blocks of naturally occurring emeralds. Emerald sword, don't mind if I do. However, even though this cave is pretty alright, it's not getting us the kind of resources I want. So let's start looking for specifically redstone. In Crazy Craft, there is a special item called the Miner's Delight that is made from cactus, redstone blocks, and gunpowder that basically mines out a massive area of stone, leaving just the ores. So we're gonna go after that kind of stuff just because of how easy it will make things for us. So back at the desert, I grabbed the cactus I'd need and then waited for creepers by night. Nearly died to a lot of these guys because they have so much health, had one too many explode on me, and finally I got some. But unfortunately, they only dropped enough gunpowder to make one delight. But hey, one is better than one. Anyways, this is how it works. Look at the beauty of this. It's mostly renewable. The redstone is the only part that really is an issue in this old version, but the delight tends to reveal just enough to make another. But this right here is the stuff we're after, uranium ore. Unfortunately, we have the equivalent of 2 nuggets right now, so that's a later down the road discussion. Right now though, I got an unwelcome guest outside my house, and he's in desperate need of learning whose base this is. Unfortunately, he drowned me in dirt and then claimed my second death of this world. But I won't lose to an oversized rodent, so I killed it and obtained its nose. Now I'm gonna start making a space to begin exploring the mods from. It's mostly just gonna be a large platform in the end, but to even make it I need resources like stone bricks. But problem with those specifically, I'm out of emeralds because I chose to make armor. Solution: more mining. The reason I want emeralds to make stone bricks is because emerald pickaxes come with pre-enchanted silk touch, so we won't have to smelt anything extra. It's genius, I know, but even with it, we still have a problem planning out a circle. You think that fountain build on the hardcore world would have prepared me for this, but that was more oval shaped and this isn't. I don't know. I'm gonna take a second to make butter. I made popcorn yesterday, but this is a terrible food, so I'm seeing if butter makes it better. Before I could go home to try it out though, I was attacked by a giant bee. It went down pretty quick and dropped something far more interesting than any popcorn. Butter candy. This stuff gives me a speed and jump boost when I eat it, so I'll probably be turning the butter into this stuff. Always love seeing things go right for me. Anyways, back to making the circle work. Though we're at the point now where I can confidently say we can start to fill it in with wood. Probably should have used dark oak for this because of how much I can get with just a few trees, but I'm glad I didn't because I found a gas pet in a random tree. I completely forgot about these things till now. It'd be cool if we could find one of these pets that would be genuinely useful to us, but for now we're just filling in the giant circle. Stopped to grab some wood and found myself pinned down by a mantis. Probably that same one I ignored a few days ago. He killed me and then ran off, but he'll be back. He always comes back. Midnight deforestation. Daytime deforestation. The circle doesn't seem that big, but man, is this chewing through wood. I ran out of normal oak by the platform and had to travel to a slightly further forest just to get some more. But it was all for the greater... Oh geez, he's back. And I'm dead again! Got my stuff back, so hopefully he's gone for good this time. Never mind! I'm trapped in my house. Maybe if I dig under him, I can kill him from below? Nope, killed me before that plan went anywhere. And then again after that. Alright, that's it. This guy has made me mad. All I wanted to do was do a nice few days of me building, but no, I gotta deal with this stupid giant mantis. Let's go get the stuff for another miner's delight. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, I made it to the desert. Let's see what we can get. That is a big scorpion and a lot of ender mobs, but no creepers till it was almost morning, and that's quite frustrating. Part of the problem I'm having in general with farming this stuff isn't the lack of spawns though. It's that most of the mobs have like over 100 health, so killing anything takes so much time. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough to make another delight, and some more desperate searching led to my demise yet again. Maybe I'm the problem. Or maybe it's my armor. So to fix that, I need to get my hands on the delight so I can make more stuff to make more armor. Significantly better spawns this time, but everything keeps blowing up. But I got what I wanted. With a new delight in hand, I can attempt to get more things for better armor. Thinking amethyst will probably be our best bet for now. Also found some extra uranium, but I didn't have another delight, so we're already back to the surface. Emerald helmet, amethyst pants, diamond chest plate. I look cobbled together, but at the very least, I got a full row of armor now. But I want to figure something out. In older versions of Crazy Craft, morphing into birds would let you fly, but at some point you had to visit the Nether to unlock this ability. I don't know if that's how this works in 3.0, but it never hurts to try. So with the portal lit, we can hop inside. Apparently I spawned in a fortress. Genuinely, I think I've only ever done this a few times, so getting it on camera this time around was actually kind of neat. Anyways though, this place doesn't have much for us now and doesn't seem to grant me flight. So we're back to the overworld. Well, for a second as I right-clicked a red ant and accidentally entered the mining dimension. We'll be coming here soon for adventure, but now is not the time. And that's especially the case because dinosaurs and mothras are attacking. One giant moth even cornered me and I dug into a cliffside to survive. I killed the beast and I dropped a ton of moth scales and a nether star, but the scales are genuinely the best thing that I could have gotten. I managed to get back to the overworld and use the scales to create most of the moth armor. Still rocking amethyst pants because I didn't have enough, but this set has solved our survivability problems like it was nothing. I got better armor, but I still can't fly, and I think my salvation lies within one specific item, the cloud pet. While it doesn't seem to be craftable, I can apparently find them in these things called cloud dungeons, and it looks like I have one nearby. Don't mind me, just clutching. And this didn't have the pet I was looking for. So we spent the next little while checking everyone I came across, which is what most of today was about. I should probably look into the chances. So, oh no, that's bad. Apparently the cloud pet is considered to be one of the legendary pets and therefore is a 1 in 200 chance of being found. So we're unfortunately back to the drawing board when it comes to flight, but we can fix our next biggest problem. Everything has too much health. Like a creeper should not be taking several hits from a sword with 15 attack damage. So we're hunting for a better weapon. This hunt is taking us back underground though, as I have yet to fight anything that drops the materials I'm after. And this right here is what I'm going for. Titanium ore. Titanium is one of the two main resources used in the creation of ultimate gear, with the other being that uranium we found before. Unfortunately, both titanium ore and uranium ore only smelt down to 1 nugget each, so we need a lot to make anything meaningful. But we did actually get enough of the stuff for 1 ingot each. So we tossed those into a crafting table with an iron ingot for a stick and got the ultimate sword. This puppy does 40 attack damage and is able to 3-shot a creeper. Still not great, but man is this better than before. The sword is really nice. Perfect for my purposes. So problem officially solved for now. And thus I turned to gardening. making a cactus farm so I can always have access to more delights, but if I want to make them truly renewable, I'm gonna need a mob farm. So, guess I'll start gathering some materials for that, but I'm very curious about something. Do new farms work in old versions? Like, everybody knows about the classic Skyblock one, but does the 9-platform stackables work in 1.7.10? Because that would be a way better farm to build. Hold that thought, I'm getting revenge. Finally, I'm not losing to the likes of a bug. Anyways, because I don't have another mob farm, another night is spent in the desert. And I got deaded by an Emperor Scorpion, so neat! Guess I'm still weak. Oh no, another cloud dungeon. I know the chances now, but it's like gambling. If I don't hit it now, then I'll forever be sad and poor. Come on, baby, Papa needs a new cloud pet. Why do I even try? Alright, let's work towards a way to fly again. Superhero suits. I could be Superman or Iron Man if I really want to fly, but I need a lot more resources if that's really going to be my plan. So we're going 5 more delights in down here, 7 more furnaces up here, and finally smelting a metric ton of black iron. I don't know why the mod adds a dark version of iron, probably just so that you don't chew through your normal iron supply, but that's not too important. What is those that I'm making a polarized screen, and that's kind of insane. One would even dare to say crazy. That one isn't me though, I'm finding I'm in desperate need of tungsten. Thought I had some, but I guess I don't. Can't even find any in the Miner's Delight cave, so something is, here's why. Apparently tungsten is only found at Y5. So, a bedrock delight or two got us the thing we're after. Now I can assemble a straight up computer screen and begin looking to building the hero maker. But that sees me needing circuit boards. More specifically, advanced circuit boards. So we speedrun gathering this stuff because I'd like to fly sooner rather than later, and boom, got them. Then we use them to make a hero reactor, and then combine the reactor with the screen I made with some extra little bits tossed in there, and presto, one hero maker obtained and ready to go. Now to figure out what route I'd like to take. The hero maker lets me create Superman armors, but that requires fabric, and fabric is something that is shockingly kind of difficult to get just because I haven't gotten much wool so far. So it's weird to say, but making a suit of armor that is literally more advanced than anything we have in the real world is going to be easier than making a red and blue suit out of some cloth I found in Grandma's attic. Before we fly though, we need to do some building. I'm not quite sure why, but I can't see the recipes for most of the superhero suits, and I'm really hoping that doesn't mean they aren't available. Anyways though, I'm curious to test my question from before. Do modern farms work in 1.7.10? I'm gonna wager probably not, especially in this because barely anything spawns by my house to begin with, but that's the fun of it, you know? Funny enough, I haven't even built this farm on my hardcore world, which is funny because I have built a lot of farms on that one. However, we've hit our first roadblock. Trapdoors can't be placed without being next to a block, and other trapdoors don't count. I subbed them in for carpets, but already there is an issue. This isn't looking too promising. Anyways, 18 blocks up we go, then stairs, then the creation of a 13 by 13 platform. Think I did something wrong already, but I just can't put my finger on it. Next roadblock. Gates need a solid block under them. Luckily, I'm smart and know a solution. The fence gates are only there to stop the water, so we can use signs instead. It's an easy fix, but it's not bringing any more confidence. So now we can begin going up. Just 4 blocks to start, because I gotta start flooding this area. Just the elevated corners. And while I'm at it, let's also make the 3x3 platforms. But something is definitely off. The way the water is flowing further here tells me that one side is too long. Let's just hope that's not the side I've been working on. Quick collection spree, because I'm not working off an item list and therefore didn't grab enough cobble. And regrettably, it was the side I'm working on that was messed up. Simple fix, but sucks I didn't do it right the first time. But I think we're good now. Just laying down some trapdoors. Gotta say, kinda peaceful for Crazy Craft. Makes you wonder if it's too peaceful. That's what I've been waiting for. Anywho, the first 9 spawning areas are done. Now to go even further beyond. And by that, I mean building up a few more blocks. And going again. Same thing as before, just no need to stop and fix the sides of the farm. Honestly, barring that mantis fight, this has been some of the most peaceful days so far. Story structure-wise, that tends to mean that something big is gonna happen. But what could that be? We're in the home stretch for this farm now, and I'm concerned with how this will work in Crazy Craft. Ancient mod packs require modern solutions. Probably not actually, because I don't think this will actually work, but it never hurts to try. So we're working on capping it off. Well, after we get trapdoors down, because I got a little ahead of myself. But now to see if it works. It definitely doesn't. Alright, that's a couple days wasted. Now back to Iron Man. I can't see the recipes, but that's what the internet is for. For the Iron Man armors, we apparently need to create something called the Stark Workbench. So after a brief crafting montage, we got it, and I can't open it. Why does this game have to kick me while I'm down? It's okay though, we can go after the Superman armor because the Hero Maker still works at the very least. So for that, I'm gonna need to get my hands on a lot of cloth, which is wool and string. So looks like it's running around the countryside for sheep time. And then just after, we're hunting spiders, but also creepers. Didn't get enough in the night though, so I can only make so many pieces of cloth. I need 3 colors, yellow, red, and blue. But blue is needed the most, so we're gonna have to start with yellow and red. It's also because I don't have any lapis, but don't worry about that. Instead, let's worry about these. Red diamonds. I'm gonna be needing a lot of these, like 81 of these suckers. So we got ourselves a new quest. Finding ways to farm the diamonds is going well, I think. Seeing if criminals drop them fast enough. They definitely don't. Oh geez, a water dragon. Die, you stupid overgrown lizard. Got its scale in the end. Attack squid? I can't remember why, but I remember I shouldn't kill them. But I'm gonna. Oh, now I remember. I gotta run! Good old DevGen moment of doing the thing he wasn't supposed to do. I think I'm pretty safe by my base because the chunks are unloaded, but the desert is kind of a no-go at the moment. So we're just gonna go after some more titanium and uranium. I wanna get an ultimate pickaxe because it has fortune on it, and if the criminals aren't dropping things fast enough, maybe the red diamonds will actually drop enough red diamonds with fortune. But now that I've also unleashed the krakens, I need to make something else called the ultimate bow. So we're gonna also have to take a detour for that. Luckily, this mantis will have some extra titanium and uranium. Come on. Yes. Boom. Pick obtained. And red diamonds don't seem to get fortune. Well, that sucks, but time for the bow. I found a chicken pet down here. Now I'm curious. It gives me speed 5. This pet is actually useful? Is that Pac-Man? I have a slight problem. I need food for my chicken pet, and it's in desperate need of seeds. One problem with seeds, though, grass drops a bunch of different types, and the chicken is fickle and will only take the finest wheat seeds as its meal. So, guess I have to figure that out if I want to keep speed 5. Anyways, in other news, those kraken are scary and I need a way of defending myself. So, we're gonna make something called kraken repellent. Too bad that has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now because I've rehydrated a few spawn eggs. Didn't really help me though, as I snuck past the krakens to farm spiders in the desert, but died to an enderman in the process. Really hope this isn't the start of a trend. Whoa. Seed solution has been discovered. The village farm has wheat, and also I made my repellent. So come at me, krakens. It's a good day to die. Actually, I think it despawned. Well, that really sucks because I wanted to kill at least one of those. Well, fine, let's go back to getting red diamonds. A new method has been discovered. By combining purple crystal blocks with black iron blocks, a blank map, and one of our precious red diamonds, I can make a map to Wakanda. Yes, that Wakanda, which apparently has a significantly greater chance of generating red diamond ore. So we got a heading. Now for the ship that will take us there. I made this really cool item called the hoverboard that lets me hover above the ground at breakneck speeds. Not quite flight, but it's a start. Anyways, we're fighting 2 Pac-Men. Unfortunately, I waka-waka'd my way into the clutches of death. Well, that kind of sucks. Oh, hey, a caterpillar. Gonna try to take this thing down. And I would have if it wasn't for a stupid cobweb spawning in the path of my arrows, so guess who died again? We really need to work on getting stronger. Making more miners' dreams, not delights, because I've been saying the wrong thing this whole time, as well as a double chest pet that will let us have a double chest in our inventory, and even a legendary portal gun. So now I can teleport. This will be far less useful than I expect it to be, won't it? And after this brief preparation, we're good to head to the, a lucky block. Why do I bother? Anyways, to Wakanda we go. And I'm in the ground. That didn't last too long though. This place has a lot of villages, but honestly, they're kind of just the same as the regular 1.7.10 ones. As in next to useless. So, mining I shall go. Let's just hope this place has the red diamond ore I've been promised. And it totally does. Compared to the overworld, it's night and day. I got 15 of these suckers now. Still not remotely enough, but it's progress. However, I had to return to the overworld as I was out of dreams. So, while I wait for night, I'm taking criminals out. It's slower than mining in Wakanda, but it's still a way of getting red diamonds. However, a mantis appeared while I was distracted and I died again. I then spent the night hunting criminals and creepers alike. I'm no Batman, but I definitely fight for justice across this world. Alright, we got enough stuff for more dreams. Back to Wakanda. This is actually the most dreams I've had so far. So it took most of the day to actually use them all. But we're only about halfway still, so we need to keep farming gunpowders and criminals. This is less of justice and more torture now. Oh sweet, a giant. Oh sweet, I'm dead. Seriously, I need better armor. Regrettably, that death set us back and I didn't don't get nearly enough gunpowder for more miners' dreams. So we continue to farm criminals. Really wish that farm I made was actually working. A man could dream. Alright, we're at 50 now, just 31 more. Oh, a lucky block. Oh, geez, a lucky block. Saved it. Jeez, man, this world just wants me dead, doesn't it? 12 more dreams for me. So, once again, we return to Wakanda. Apologies if these days are really repetitive. While recording these, I was very tunnel vision toward this one goal, so everything I did was to serve it. I was completely spaced out at this point, by the way. In fact, I didn't even notice they had gotten the 81 red diamonds. So, guess who spent time that actually didn't need to be spent fighting criminals? This guy. Anyways, around sunrise, I realized that I had a few more than I needed, so we're done gathering this stuff for now. So I made the blocks, wandered to the hero maker, made a Superman logo, made some pants, slapped the logo onto a chest plate, and finally some wicked kicks. And now, finally, I can fly. Also freeze things, but mostly fly. I'm also invulnerable, have super speed, heat vision, though can't make it work right now. Oh, and super strength. I'm the whole package now. In fact, I actually one-tap the blazes in these cloud dungeons now. Also, I found the cloud pet I was after before I learned how rare it was. Don't really need it because I'm literally Superman now, but there will be a time when I need different armor for the final fights, and when that happens, the cloud pet will be my baby. By the way, I one-shot most enemies, even bosses, with my sword now. To prove my point, he actually dropped a backpack, so now I have even more storage. This has truly been worth it. Got my lasers working now, and taking revenge on the creatures that killed me up to this point. This was so worth the wait. I can't stress that enough. But now, we can start making some real progress. With my newfound abilities, I have the power to take on the world. So let's head back to that mining dimension. In this place, we can gather dried spawn eggs to start boss fights, but also enter a structure or two. This pyramid leads down to this obsidian maze, so looks like I'm working to solve this now. I made it to a wall that I could hear stuff on the other side of, and equipped with my free will, I decided to dig straight through, meeting face to face with one of the creatures we're looking to hunt, the basilisk. Even with my powers, these things could still give me enough slowness to stop me in my tracks. Too bad they can't survive one hit from me. Ended up with one of its scales and then took down the other two. With the beast destroyed, I began looking through their chests, discovering ultimate equipment, armor, tools, even bars of titanium and uranium. Pretty cool if I must say. But now we need to take a nice long look around this place as I really want spawn eggs. Found this bee pit while looking, and this netherrack box? Why are there blazes, and is that Naruto? Like, actually, why is he here? Let's not worry about that, though. One shot a dragon, defeated another Pac-Man, and got the villain maker from him. So now we can make villains like I can heroes. And then I began looking for dried spawn eggs in caves. Not much down here at a certain point, though. So I left and came across an obsidian block with some bedrock chilling around and decided to see what was inside, and came face to face with one of the fiercest creatures in the mod, the Nightmare. Who also gets one shot by me, allowing us to obtain a scale from these guys too. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with this mod, the creatures I'm hunting all drop a scale or essence or sometimes a weapon that all combine together to create pieces of a sword. A sword that will guide us towards our way to defeating the 3 big bosses of this mod: Mobzilla, the King, and the Queen. However, we're still pretty far from that, so let's just keep doing what we're doing for now. In fact, let's go so far into things that we've been doing up till now that we can kill creepers here. Well, at least for a bit, because I want to go home, until I accidentally clicked a butterfly. Now I'm in some place that looks like the Aether. Upon further research, it's called the Chaos Dimension, and with a name like this, I have no intent to stay. Luckily, I found another butterfly, so getting back was as simple as doing exactly what I did to bring me here. But, alright, we're home, and we need to work on some storage. I've outgrown this house in general, so we're starting to move to the platform. Also going to be using iron chests around here so that we can actually keep the storage space to a minimum. But to do that, I need more iron. Actually, somehow, if I mine blocks with my ultimate pickaxe, there's a chance that ore drops alongside a bar, which is really cool and speeds up the whole process of getting stuff. But now I can begin labeling these bad boys. Obviously gonna use signs. Make 1 or 2 of these chests gold for even more storage for things that I have a lot of or just need more space for. And then start transferring items. And yeah, that's what today's task was. And tonight's. Honestly, it was just this today. Let's make some armor displays. I kind of just want to set up a better base than the house in general, so I think this place also needs walls. Also just a big hole for a door. That doesn't seem like a bad idea in any way. But with walls now, I have put my old armors onto these stands and took it in for a second. Alright, that's enough taking it in. Back to walls. Well, sort of, as I want to prepare for something. I likely won't be able to stay Superman forever, so I want to set up an armor stand for this set because I love being the man. Anyways, off to the brown ant dimension. This place is called Utopia, and it's covered in trees. There is one place here that is of interest to me, but I'm not gonna be there for quite a while yet. Well, actually, there's 3 things here. Now from this, we got the spawn egg for the king. And over at this black one, we got the spawn egg for the queen. With a dried Mobzilla spawn egg I came across in the mining dimension, we have the last 3 bosses for the pact ready to go. However, I made a grave mistake. I went back to the mining dimension because I'd like to try and find a prince spawn egg, but tried to take a trip to the rainbow ant dimension and crashed my game. Attempted to get back on once again and crashed my game again. It just kept doing that over and over until I literally had to go into my player file, alter my NBT data to set me into the overworld, and finally, I was back up and running. Didn't actually bring me to the overworld though, as I seem to be in the mining dimension ready to explore structure. I'm fighting aliens. More specifically, xenomorph knockoffs and alpha metroids. Why are these here? That place didn't really have anything of importance to me, so I left. Took a nice trip back to Utopia, then back to the mining dimension before making my way back to the overworld. But my ant adventure didn't end there, as I found an unstable ant. This has brought me to the danger dimension, a world that is relatively peaceful during the day, but by night becomes infested with nightmarish creatures, aka the nightmares from before. A lot of structures spawn here, so in the future I'll likely come this way for some cool things here and there. Anyways, though, I found this strange quartz pyramid where inside I came face to face with the worst enemies in the game, the bankers. These guys literally steal everything from your inventory. Armor, weapons, even my corn on the cob. They left me with nothing and then began to corner me. I escaped to the great outdoors, but they followed. I had nothing left to give. Nothing but my life. And they took that too. Well, that really sucks. And this made it worse. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me. What is death to a man who had to modify his player data to keep the series from ending prematurely? Nothing! So I came back, taking all the bankers down, but there was still a problem. One banker had despawned. This banker had something very special to me, my limited edition Superman kicks. Without those, I literally had no more powers. I couldn't be the Man of Steel anymore. Now I'm just some dude in ultimate armor. Empowered no longer, our hero decided it was time to leave the danger dimension to reobtain his once great abilities. That meant more cactus for Miner's dreams, more figuring out how to finally get his map working, and some playing with portals, of course. Alright, that's enough of that. While I work on my Superman boots, possibly the chestplate and leggings too, because why not, I'm gonna finally use that cloud pet I snagged earlier to continue flying. But this little guy needs food for that. So after I made 26 Miner's dreams, I'm so stacked. We went to the nether for some quartz because that's the only thing the cloud pet will eat. Back in Wakanda now. Red diamonds are the only resource we actually still need, as I have things like nether stars from Mothras that I've been attacking here and there. Though let's also grab some more redstone while we're here, just in case I need more dreams. You would think that 26 of them would be enough, but I still need 81 red diamonds to make another Superman set. Probably could just get away with the boots though, as that's the only thing that went missing. But the other parts are quite low on durability, and I don't really know how to repair this stuff. Apparently though, I actually did run out of dreams, so that's not ideal. And our cloud pet was fat and chewed through an entire stack of his food in like 20 minutes. So I had to return to the nether, hunting more criminals after that, having more luck fighting mantises though, and then putting creepers on the endangered species list by night. Once I was done with that, I set up my old Superman armor onto a stand as a sort of break for emergencies kind of deal, and then returned to interdimensional mining. Only really needed a few extra red diamonds anyways though, so we're back and rebuilding the armor pretty quickly. And because of that, I can temporarily retire the ultimate armor till I'm done messing around with my Superman set. Gotta set it up on its own stand because it gives this place just so much personality. And it's back to the unstable ant dimension for green goo. That stuff only drops from these things called Triffid, which only spawn here. Green goo is used for making better weapons, mostly the big Bertha, but I can also use it for a few others. Anyways though, I found a big dungeon. These bad boys have multiple floors, each with progressively better gear and tougher enemies to fight. These places are great for gathering other things for the big Bertha. This place is actually pretty dangerous though, and that's mostly because of this layer 3, the basilisks. I do one-shot them, but the slowness is an issue, as with my Superman armor, I get launched back and can't recover fast enough before getting launched again. Though I did eventually get to the spawners for these guys. Wish I could preserve them, but they're honestly just too dangerous to let live. Next floor had Hercules beetles, which is pretty good, as we do still need these guys to make the big Bertha. Jumpy bugs too, and I think after that, this dungeon is done, as there's only eggs in these chests. There should be another dungeon in this dimension with another floor, and that will have some insane armor and a weapon in it, but those will literally be the last set for this entire playthrough, and I don't really want to use that yet. Maybe in 20 days or so, though. Anyways, back in the overworld, I found myself working on some of the weapons that I need green goo for. Starting with the attitude adjuster. It's a big hammer that explodes. I didn't mean to do that. I was gonna use it as my new main weapon, but didn't realize it did that. So we aren't gonna do that and instead make a farm for some enchanted golden apple cows. On top of that, I have this enchantment table pet and 76 levels to burn, so let's see what we can do about making our Superman armor better. Not much actually, as it seems to have very low enchantability and only got a couple things on the armor. But I should be getting more hearts now. Anyways, I made another green goo weapon, the battle axe. This bad boy is better than my sword right now, so we're gonna rock it. Anyways, while I was in the danger dimension, I found these weird golden apple things that when I clicked the ground, it summoned one of these giant trees from Utopia. Kinda neat, won't be doing anything with it though. Speaking of Utopia, let's find the last thing of interest here. Somewhere in the distance, there will be a tree made of valuables. Gold, diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and most importantly, uranium and titanium. And I think I see it. Oh yeah, this is it. We gotta be careful being here though, as this place has a guardian in the form of a naturally spawned king. Right there. So we won't be staying. But this is important for something I have planned. Anyways, why are mushroom islands covered in Pac-Man? Ah, home sweet home. Made a chainsaw. Better damage than the axe, but no enchantment, so probably not gonna use it. Looking to finish up my house a bit as I'm tired of it raining on me constantly, realizing this place looks like a burger patty. And now that I've realized that, I can't unsee it. So let's lean into it. To make the base into a burger, I need a few colorful blocks. Perhaps of the resource variety. It all comes full circle, though I'm grabbing rubies from this queen spawn egg place in Utopia, as it's just so much safer. I think you can still see the design. Okay, I definitely ruined this place. At the tree now, grabbing gold. A ton of it from here, actually. But that's not all, as I also need emeralds. But the king spotted me, and I was struck down once again. Looks like I'm gonna be doing a rescue mission for all my stuff again. All right, same loadout as the last time I had to do this. Ultimate gear and cloud pet away! Already spotted again, though I was able to grab my stuff, so back the way I came. Well, now I guess we can start using what we got to make the house look more appetizing. Starting with gold for cheese. And while I started out making this into a giant square of cheese, I kind of realized this wasn't going to look right like this. If I want something to actually look nice, it should be melting to the patty. The best place to do that is at the large flat parts of the build instead of these side areas, so I gotta get rid of the platforms I already have built. And that took a shocking amount of time. Something I feel like a lot of builders gloss over is when they build something incorrectly or want to change something, it actually takes a decent chunk of time to remove the sections you want to change. But that part's boring, so here's how the cheese looked once I actually had the demolition done. Now for some ruby tomatoes, always nice, and emerald lettuce, or pickles, depending on how you like your burger. But because of getting killed earlier, I didn't have enough emeralds for finishing this off, so I need some more. Unfortunately, I don't think mining will get us far. Yup, still pretty short. So let's try to see if we can maybe liberate some emeralds from a basilisk or two. Found a new yellow dungeon to try and loot. Discovered the giant worm, one of the last creatures I need for the big Bertha. A few T-Rexes next, and I did find basilisks. But remember when I said they were too dangerous to live a few days ago? Yeah, I don't really know how they got me that fast. They've never been able to kill me like that before, so I don't know why it happened like that. Now I gotta find a way to recover my things from that place. Okay, I've been keeping things relatively fair for a while now because it's more fun with at least some challenge. But I'll be honest, I'm not gonna be able to get my stuff back without exploits this time. So let me introduce you to the instant survival shelter. This bad boy lets me break bedrock, like so. So now I got my stuff back. Though I'm not gonna keep doing that for the most part because otherwise I could easily just grab some of the best gear without any challenge from one of these dungeons. With that being said though, our Superman armor took a beating. But I finally discovered a way of fixing my gear, though I need iron nuggets and bars don't craft into them. Anvil pet obtained. This little guy makes a really loud anvil noise that I had to put a limiter on in editing because it hurts, and it coincides with my armor and tools being fixed. Though it is pretty slow, so while I wait for my Superman armor to be fixed up enough to start using again, let's grab the last few emeralds we need for the house. Right there. And now to Utopia for wood. The trees here are perfect for gathering oak just because of how many there are around here and just how tall they are. Like, I got stacks in just a few minutes. So house building will commence once again. Starting with making this bottom section actually look like a bottom bun. Like so. Though I need a proper way of getting in and out of the house without needing to fly, so we can just slap the old rim that we're removing into something for that. And now for the moment I've been waiting for. the top bun. Unfortunately, I ran out of oak, so we're back to Utopia. But this did allow me to discover how useful these sky trees are about to be. One break took down the entire tree and left all the wood next to me. Oh man, did that speed things up. I'm already back to work. Honestly though, this top section has really taken a minute because it's basically just a dome. Never been the fastest builder in the world, but domes were always a thing where I noticed I was very slow when it came to making them. I just don't want things to look too flat is all. Though I guess in the case of a burger, it's probably fine. Anyways, the thing is done and this is how it looks. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's crazy. A perfect base for this. My anvil pet needs more iron nuggets to eat, and this is actually how I get them, by raiding these cloud dungeons. Now that I showed you that though, and we're done with the house, let's figure out what we still need for the big Bertha. I've kept most of the stuff in this chest, but honestly, I'm not sure what I do and don't have. In the end though, it's looking like I'm missing not too much. Just a ray gun, ultimate sword, kraken tooth, sea viper tongue, sea monster scale, and maybe one or two more things though, I'm not entirely sure. Also, it's looking like my Superman armor is repaired enough for me to actually start using again, so see you in a few days, Ultimate Armor. Off to find the sea-based bosses. Maybe raid a cloud or two. Sea monster, spotted. Sea monster no longer spotted. Couldn't find the scale though, so we'll take another one on. There be the sea serpent. There no longer be a sea serpent. Got his tongue, so that's cool. Organized the big Bertha chest so that I could actually tell if I missed anything in my short list from yesterday. Looks like I was right. Second sea monster down, and finally getting around to fighting the Kraken again. Just testing out what my original strategy would have been if they hadn't despawned way earlier. Would have taken some time, but it works. Not nearly as well as this though. Just taking a quick look now, I think we just need a ray gun. However, the robots that drop it only spawn in the Rainbow Ant dimension, and that's the place that almost lost us the entire world a while back. Well, no time like the present to do it all over again. Hey, I actually made it. There's our mark. Die, Jeffrey. Right there. All right, back to the overworld. Big Bertha handle, guard, and blade. Now we just mix them together and we have obtained true power. Big Bertha acquired. And it looks so cool. Though I combined it with a piece of iron to make it into the slice for extra range. But still really cool. Just testing out on these crabs, I think I was doing more damage before, which is wild, but I'm willing to overlook it for now. Anyways, I'm raiding some more sky dungeons. Thinking about enchanting my Superman armor before. So we're grabbing books. Kinda shocked there isn't a thing to move enchantments off of the ultimate armor and onto something else because of how insanely useful that would actually be for my Superman armor after all of this. So I kinda see why they wouldn't do that. Anyways, enchanting didn't work out, so we're gonna work on the base a little more. I want a sort of second floor, and this seems the best time to do it. So that's what we're doing quickly. And it's about what you think at this point. Not actually sure what I want to use this for, honestly. Maybe if I can't figure out what I want to do for a few days, I can see if I can obtain more superhero suits. Bet you I could get the whole Justice League if I tried hard enough. But I think I got this all wrapped up now. Anyways, I kind of want to try out some of these superhero bosses. Though I need vibranium to obtain some of the resources necessary to do these. Need some black iron too, so gotta grab that. Making the house safe now. And now for the first boss. Catwoman, who died immediately. Next one needs a wither skull, so we're in the nether. Though I don't actually think this will be worth getting a wither skull for. So I guess we can swap to working on using that vibranium. So we're making another screen. Moving more stuff over to the burger base. And finishing up that screen I mentioned. And then crafting it into a cell phone. And now to call up the only guy I got on here. Stan the Manly. He trades tons of materials that don't do much into things that actually will, including this Asgardian steel, which is what I was after. So now I've made a summon for Loki, the final boss of the superhero mod. Let's do this. Oh, he actually survived a hit from my sword. Impressive, though not impressive enough. Now I got his staff as a weapon. Anyways, I also purchased Stan's finest Green Lantern rings, so now I got a second Justice League outfit. Kinda wish I thought about doing this sooner because I totally could have rocked the Green Lantern suit till I made the Superman set. But we can't change the past. Only work towards the future without my fantastical powers. Luckily, most things can be solved with pets. Plus, I can get a few new powers like teleporting when I'm low thanks to the Enderman pet. Though I think my final loadout of pets will be the Enderman, Iron Golem for barrier, this weird purple thing for resistance, a purple cow for regen, the once used and quickly forgotten about chicken pet, and my glorious cloud pet. Though they all need to eat, so that's why I'm doing this today. Also experimented with some giant robot spiders. That happened too. Though I think we're ready. So long, Superman armor. Hello, boss fight. This spot seems good. And there it is. Mobzilla. Slice puts in work on him, though not much. However, I knew this would be an uphill battle without my Superman armor. It's one hit in, one hit out. Attempting some alternate forms of attack here and there, though, too. though he's still relatively healthy. Come on, break, you large lizard. Oh wait, what the heck? Well, this looks like a job for... Just hoping I found all my stuff. And quick change in strategy. I wasn't doing so hot with my ultimate armor, so hopefully my Superman stuff fares better. I also made sure to feed my Enderman pet so I could escape if needed. And this made all the difference. Die, you massive monitor! Also just noticed that he was slowing time down, as this day has lasted almost as long as a full in-game day. Though his weird abilities to break my time won't stop me. Just a little more. Kick rocks, you giant gecko. Last hit. Perfect. He dropped a lot of stuff, but the truly most important things that he did were the scales. So let's hang up the ultimate armor for good, make a set of Mobzilla scale armor, take a nice look at our first endgame armor, and finally hang up our cape for good. Now for some aimless wandering. I did what needed to be done and still have 32 days left to work on the King and Queen, so I should work on a better loadout for the next boss. Should be something that can counter the problems with what happened earlier when I died. Hold that thought though, as I'm gonna sleep to set my spawn. I looked into the extra things I can do for buffs. Not looking too promising. So let's collect the superhero suits. Just setting up some pedestals. And with 8 new ones built, I'm gonna collect the Justice League like I joked about before. Starting with the Flash, who needs Lightning Stone. A lot of the stuff, actually. Like 5 blocks worth. Though I didn't realize that I didn't actually grab enough my first time down, so I started collecting wool for cloth. Eventually I did figure it out and went back down, but at least I do have enough wool now. I then encountered a weeping angel. These guys move towards you when you look away, and it teleported me up for some reason. Anyways, I got the stone, now for some string. Though I got that quickly, made my materials, and began crafting a Flash emblem, pants, boots, helmet, and chestplate. Technically, the 3rd suit acquired. I'm basing my list off members of the old Justice League cartoon, but I got an extra stand in here because the next member we're after wasn't actually a proper member in that show. Aquaman. Apparently, Aquaman needs a material called sea stone to craft. It's this blue stone that only spawns in the very blue ocean between certain levels that prevent spawns on the sea floor. So you can imagine that this took a while. Anyways, you can dye the stone different colors, and that's just what I did, using the stuff with a little gold to craft the emblem, pants, helmet, chestplate, and boots. Apparently though, I just crafted his beard instead of a full helmet. Next member to get is Wonder Woman. Apparently this stuff is made with Amazonian bars, which Stan Lee trades, but I misplaced my cells, so I need to make another. Also, I was totally lagging at this point, and I think it was because of all the ocean I was generating for the sea stone. Anyways, I summoned Stan and found the trade for 5 vibranium pieces. So I went back to Wakanda, which also seemed to fix the lag, and got to digging. In total, I needed 135 pieces, but got just over that, so we were mad chillin' when I summoned Stan. Got the stuff, and then got home. 1 Wonder Woman emblem, helmet, leggings, chestplate, and boots coming up. And now I'm really confused when it comes to making just Aquaman's beard, as we literally made new skin for Wonder Woman. Let's not worry about that though, as next up on the list is Martian Manhunter. For him, I need to go to Mars, and only 1 man is equipped for the job. Well, okay, Green Lantern could technically do it too, but I want any excuse to use the Superman set more. Anyways, to get to Mars, we literally just had to fly upwards, and eventually... Alright, cool. Now we're after Martian relics. There really isn't a lot to see up here. Anyways, this is the stuff we're after. Just making sure we have enough of these relics, and then back the way I came. The rest of this day was just me struggling to get back to my house because of the world refusing to load in. Don't you just love 1.7.10? Okay, so the next thing we need for Martian Manhunter is red diamond blocks. Makes sense though, he is about as strong as Superman. Apparently a portal to Mars generated on top of my house. Not sure why though. Anyways, I'm only here to grab some dreams to take to Wakanda. I'm only off by a few diamonds, so hopefully we'll get the amount that we actually need. And I did. So, just finishing the other materials, and now 1 chest plate, pants, helmet, and boots are crafted. Looks nice. Though still kind of confused about just making a beard still. And now for the difficult one, Batman. The reason he's gonna be difficult is relatively simple. I'm out of string, so we're shifting gears to Hawkgirl. Most of her stuff is bought from Stan Lee, this nth metal stuff. So 1 helmet, chestplate, pants, and boots later, and we got ourselves another hero for the collection. Now back to Batman. He needs mostly cloth, and to make that, you need string. And I just went over how I'm out of string. So while I wait for night, we can keep working on the other things for this. Mostly just making more electronics. And now it's night, so let's get to work. And wouldn't you believe it? This is all we needed. So now let's make the mask, leggings, bat symbol, into chestplate, and then finally boots. And now, I'm the knight. I am the guy who went out of his way to collect the Justice League. Also, get this portal off my roof. Well, I'm out of ideas. Though there is one dimension that I have yet to visit. To my termites. Welcome to the Crystal Dimension. To get here, I have to abandon all my gear and fight for a way to return. It's a dangerous world, but I'm really just here to show it off. And that's because the thing we actually needed from here was obtained when I killed a face thing way earlier. So I'm basically here really just to show it off. But I do have an issue. There isn't a lot to eat. Luckily, there is something called a crystal apple, which is edible here, though I'm not sure how rare it is. Never mind, I got one. I was then attacked by a rotator, which are the keys to our return. When killed, they drop a termite, and that's obviously the way we do it. Obviously. Alright, nothing left to see here. Time to go. Got a decent amount of stuff. Honestly, if I ever do Crazy Craft again, I should probably start out there. Oh, maybe I should even do a Crazy Craft progression video, because trust me when I say, most of this has been me searching decade-old, vandalized wikis and videos to figure out how to progress and make things. Yeah, perhaps in the future I'll do that, because I already know this 100 Days is not going to be a good guide, because it's mostly just been me messing around with superheroes. Speaking of superheroes though, let's also make the Avengers. Gonna do the original MCU lineup for these guys, but I need to get the hard one out of the way first. Iron Man. Now, earlier I was debating between Iron Man or Superman, and went Superman because the Stark workbench isn't working, but apparently the workbench only works if you're already Iron Man. So the question becomes, how do I become Iron Man without the ability to open the thing needed to make Iron Man armors? Well, there's one suit that can be made without the workbench, the Mark I armor. But Iron Man is a very fitting name for this suit because I need 27 blocks of iron just to make this one suit. So I wait for my furnaces smelting the iron. Let's start work on an arc reactor. Starting with a palladium core, a couple of advanced electronics, and a few pieces of titanium sprinkled in there when we got ourselves the mini arc reactor. Now, I already know I absolutely do not have enough iron, so I tried to travel to another dimension to see if I could get some blocks, but ended up in the unstable one. Not exactly what I meant to do, but it did help me find a beacon from a wishing well after coming back, so that's 9 blocks in my pockets. The day was then spent mining because I had no other way forward. Made a few things like rockets later on, so now I can get my hands on a set of Mark I pants, boots, chestplate, and helmet. Now I can access this bad boy. Oh, and this is how it looks. Now on to making the Mark VII. For that, I need an Iron Man base, which is made with Iron Man armor plates, which needs 3 titanium and 3 gold plates for every 3 armor plates. Every titanium and gold plate needs 6 ingots, meaning I need a grand total of 144 gold and titanium ingots just to make one Iron Man base. Okay. Some more mining for this guy. I actually do have the gold already from when we made the burger, but the titanium is significantly less abundant. I genuinely need so much of the stuff it hurts. And to think, I still need to make the other Avengers before the King and Queen fights. Making this armor is gonna take forever. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that NEI just isn't showing me the recipes, and I gotta look at a stupidly old wiki to figure out that I don't have enough titanium. Luckily, an idea struck me and I decided to check Wakanda for more titanium. And boy, was I not disappointed. On my way back, I encountered an above ground dungeon. I remember back in these older versions, this happened a decent amount, but it's oddly nostalgic to see nowadays. Anyways though, I'm in need of a lot of electronics, specifically because turning them into advanced electronics like I've done for everything else is only step 1 of what they become. Step 2 is coming, but in the meantime, I finally have everything to make an Iron Man base armor set. So just know that 4 slots of my inventory is holding over 288 bars worth of gold and titanium plus 9 extra pieces of black iron just for good measure. Anyway, step 2 is now underway as I basically do the same recipe I do for the advanced electronics, but with the advanced electronics, and that gets us Stark Tech. I currently have 8 of them, and that is equivalent to 128 iron bars and 160 pieces of redstone, just for the electronics. So you can imagine why I'm down here again, especially because I need something close to 28 Stark Techs just to make everything for 1 armor. I hope the rest of this team takes significantly less time, because at this rate, I will be here until day 120, and nobody wants to see me just talking over crafting footage till then. Anyway, 12 Stark Tech go right into making these repulsors, and I still need 16 more for the rest of the suit. Now I'm making a vibranium core for an arc reactor, and mining in Wakanda less than 2 minutes later. To be fair, this right here is the modded Minecraft experience in general. So, anyways, I made a full stack of electronics, got some more Stark Tech, made a vibranium arc reactor, finally figured out how to work this suit's flamethrowers, finished making titanium plates because the rest of the armor still needed more, cried a little grabbing my materials out of storage, finally, and made the Mark VII helmet, chestplate, boots, and leggings. So finally, I have the first suit for the Avengers. Now to do 5 more. Let's start off with Captain America. Well, sort of, as frankly we're running out of time, so while it's daytime, I'm gonna grab the things I'll need for every superhero in the Avengers lineup. Luckily, most of what I'll be needing will be cloth, so we basically just keep flying around and shearing sheep. Though we also stopped by Wakanda again for more iron and titanium, as making a single Iron Man set has completely drained my supplies. During the night, I decided it was in my best interest to hunt down spiders for string, as well as we're super low on that too. And we were quite successful. Now I can make a Captain America A, star, chest plate, helmet, pants, and boots. Second Avenger down. Thor's up next, and he's literally just that Asgardian steel from Stan with 2 pieces of iron. Unfortunately, there is not enough vibranium to go into that trade, so we gotta stop and grab some more. However, the steel has now been acquired. Now I'm off to make many more spiders dead for string. Even more successful this time. Now I can make Thor's helmet, chest plate, leggings, and boots. And once again, I gotta ask, how do I manage to make a beard? Like, Aquaman I can get compared to Thor, but like, Thor was made completely out of steel, so where did the beard come from? Anyways, next up on the chopping block is Black Widow. Just grabbing stuff for her, and now I can make her legs, helmet, chest plate, and boots. Sweet! Now for Hawkeye. Though quickly, actually, let's make the emerald armor for the Hulk. Potential issue though, only the chest plate and leggings are craftable, as the others simply become the ore spawn version of emerald armor. That's not good. Anyways, for Hawkeye, I made the mask, chest plate, leggings, and boots. Hey, it's comic accurate. Alright, well, Hulk may be a bust, but we won't know until we have the means of making him. So let's make the Gamma Containment Unit and slap that bad boy down. I also need like 30 blocks of Gamma and only have 16 or so we're getting to searching for more, which took a minute. And I never actually got all 30. That's because I chose to test out the recipe and learned that the emerald armor I had really wasn't compatible. Hulk is impossible to make with what we currently have. So we gotta just accept it and move on. Move on to the king fight, that is. Gotta rotate 2 pets out of and into the king killing setup. The first is the wither pet, which gives me lifesteal and eats soul sand. The second is the creeper pet, which makes me immune to explosions and eats gunpowder, hence why I'm out here. So our setup is looking something like Slice, Mobzilla, the ultimate bow, purple pet thing, purple cow pet, enderman pet, wither pet, creeper pet, and finally the one and only cloud pet. Though perhaps I need a good food to go with this loadout. So it's finally time to harvest my enchanted golden apple cows. And with that, I'm good to go. This looks like a good spot, and there he is, the king. Our bow is practically useless in the face of his 7,000 health. So we gotta smack him with our sword. Or at least try, because I can't get close enough to actually hit him 9 times out of 10. He just does so much knockback. But that won't stop me. My armor's slowly breaking while his health regenerates will. And I'm not joking about that, as I've only managed to put like 500 damage in on him while my armor is over halfway into the danger zone. This fight honestly needed a rework before development ceased on this mod, because this kinda sucks to try and fight. So I ran away to get even better equipment to hopefully turn the tides of the battle. Remember when I used the survival shelters to break through bedrock earlier? Well, I did it again. This is the final floor of the tallest dungeon in the Danger Dimension, and it's here where I can obtain the Royal Guard armor, sword, and spawn egg for the prince. So let's say goodbye to our Mobzilla armor, get a cool shot of all the armors I've worn through progression, spawn the prince, watch him blow up part of the house, give this guy a few diamond blocks, and accidentally give him one too many and spawn the true king. I've done a very bad thing. This guy is unkillable, like actually unkillable, and he's at the house. Maybe I can lead him away? Like, if I can't kill him, maybe I can just take him to chunks that won't be loaded ever, like this ocean. Perfect. Well, that was almost really bad, but what the heck? Oh, geez, the Ultimate King spawns bombs. Ones that have over 1,000 health each. And they killed me! Broke my bed and then killed me again, and then left me at world spawn. And you'll never guess who was waiting for me there. So now, I have effectively spawn trapped myself. I can't believe that this world was lost to a diamond block. Crazy craft, folks. So I guess this is it. Thank you guys for watching. Sucks that this is such an anticlimax and I effectively spawn trapped myself, and that's just how we lose the world. And I'll be back to conquer this mod pack eventually. And make it an effective tutorial, because barely anything exists to actually guide you through this mod anymore. Till next time though, bye!